Greetings, everyone. So I was working on the Planetary Assault Weapons Platform, and I was thinking, oh well, maybe I should just go live and work on it at the same time, so that way y'all get to see the work that gets put in. You get to see what it takes to make the thing, thoughts, consideration, and whatever else is going through in my mind as I do them. And so sometimes I'm putting something together in the CAD program, and I'm thinking, well, here's something I learned a long time ago, and maybe it'll be useful for someone else. Little things like that. So, and I just got some prints just finished, so I need to get them out. But yeah, it's a typical day of printing and design. Earlier, I was doing some sanding because sometimes you get things like this that require a lot of cleanup. Come on, focus. So stuff like this gets cleaned up before it gets put onto the machine for smoothing. I gotta print this again. It actually looks worse than what it actually is. And the thing about it is, on camera, even if you have something very, very smooth, on camera, you zoom it up, and you can, really close to the surface, and you can see all sorts of imperfections. To the naked eye, you don't notice any of that. When you feel it with your finger, your fingernail, things like that, it will feel smooth. But if you're like looking at it with a magnifying glass, really up close and everything, it will, you'll see all sorts of ugliness involved. But it doesn't paint that way. And it's not like that in normal situations. I'm also doing a bunch of spittoons. So these are going to go into the smoothing process and go out ASAP. Got to do another one. Do them one at a time. It's the best way to control their quality. I'll show you why in just a moment. Let me just start this one and check the speed. Check the other. You see, this is a good example of why I do one at a time. So this is, of course, this is one part. But imagine these little handles as being two different models, two different spittoons, two different whatever. And the extruder has to go across to print each one. It depends on the material also. It's not just the machine, but there's strings that will get stretched from the plastic. And yeah, there are techniques to reduce the stringiness called retraction. You want to pull back the filament a certain number of millimeters. Now, if you do too much retraction, it has other problems that come up. And retraction doesn't solve everything. So even though on this I'm doing the retraction method, it only helps so much. Like I said, it depends on other factors too. Sometimes the material, sometimes combination of the heat in the material. So there's other things. Sometimes you just got to play with it over and over until you find the right settings. For example, I have a bunch of these little covers that I am printing. Ooh, what a sneeze. I get allergies from time to time, and sometimes something will just trigger like an allergy, but then it goes away real fast. So anyway, I was saying, I've been printing these little covers. These are for I'll show you right here. The Deviant Weapons Pods. This is something that is new, and This will go into the smoothing process. But the idea is I wanted to greeblize some of the I don't want to snap it into place because it might be difficult to remove, and I don't want to be like with a knife trying to pry it out. But these this is a simple greeble to simulate a cover. So it's got like handles to and something that looks like a hinge. So the idea is just to cover up some of these openings. And the thing about it is, I printed several of these. Actually, I printed 4 of these at a time, for left and right. But you can see the print came out extremely clean. So even though the extruder was going back and forth between 4 of them, with the settings that I have and all that, it worked really well. Now, instead of doing 4, I just have 1, and you can see the difference on this one. So there's other things other things involved, not just simply retraction. But anyway, that one will require some cleanup, obviously. And let's see. Okay, so I'm getting a little pile of items there. I'm doing another spittoon right now. It might seem kind of funny, spittoons. But like I said in a previous video, if you need it, you don't have it, it's a problem. You can find other ways to make a spittoon, but you could be doing something else at the same time. It may not look very well. You may be lucky if you find something in the store. Will it be there a year from now, 2 years from now? If you have another project, someone else likes it and they want to reproduce it, can they reproduce it exactly? Do they have the same store in their area? Is it across town? Is it, so there's a lot of issues. And so another thing of what we offer at DioWarriors is consistency. And you see me make a spittoon for one of my dioramas. You want it for yourself. All I have to do is print one for you, and then you'll have an identical looking spittoon. The only difference would be, like, for example, what paint I use to paint it. What brand of paint? Shiny gold, brass, antique gold, hammered gold, paintbrush method, spray paint, enamel, acrylic, lacquer, things like that. Just the personal touches. Those would be the only differences. My personal touches versus someone else's, that kind of thing. Let's see. So, okay. Well, that was enough of a little introduction. So these little covers are going to go into the machine next, the next step. And one reason why I did these covers is essentially they're little greebles. So next time I do a set of greebles for the Deviant weapon systems, I can do something more complicated, exposed machinery, attachment points, whatever. So it'll be the same kind of method. So anyways, that's one thing. But what I wanted to do and to show was the latest stuff with the Planetary Assault Weapons Platform thing. Let's see. Switch over to there now. I'm kind of currently working on it. Let's see. Let me see what y'all see. Okay. show this view. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm working with the back part of the weapon, and let me just show real fast. So far, this is the primary weapon, and the last thing that I did with it before this video was add this little greeble piece to it. I also did a little cutout. The reason is because the weapon itself, not this top part, but this part here, is going to be printed vertically. So what I'm doing is, first of all, I've made an opening here that I'm going to put a cover. By having a cover separate like that, I'll be able to add a different cover later on, a greeble or some other thing, access to the inside, some other thing. And I went ahead and made a cutout on the bottom, so it's less surface area at the bottom as it touches the build plate. And also, so that means I'll have to do a separate cover that will just fill this in, and cover up that hole. So, and then I'll take a look. I'll show you something else that I was experimenting with. Let me just close up this particular piece, this particular feature, before I switch gears to show you something else I discovered that is going to be rather interesting. I think one. And this is not really a necessary step. But the thing is that I can also print it laying down on this part, except for one thing. So I'm keeping my options open as I design this. I'll explain in just a moment. So this is a cutaway view. This is the whole view. So it's going to be printed like this. So what the printer will do layer by layer, you can see it here, it's just going to print up like this. Or maybe I should go the other direction. Can I click this, say this, and then change right there? Yeah, so it'll be something like this. The thing will print something like this, going up. And there's a trouble spot coming up. Which will be here. So I put some parts to kind of brace, because there's going to be some severe overhang in this area. As material gets extruded, gravity is going to try to pull it down. So I'm doing a little method right here to kind of reinforce and prevent as much sagging as I can. There is going to be some sag in this area right there, but it may not be too much. And then it's going to print the rest. Now, reason I say I'm going to keep my options open is because I can also print it like this. Now, when it comes to overhangs, obviously this is an overhang and this is an overhang. I'm not too concerned about this. I'm more concerned about this front part, this arc part, because nothing supports it here. So if I do print it in this direction, I'll have to design my own support structure and put it right here to kind of support and lift that. And but anyway, to solve this, I would put bracing like I did here, but for this surface. But anyway, let me show you what Let me show you what I was playing around with the other day. Let me save this. Let me switch to satellite systems. 20 weapons. Okay. So let me load up this assembly showing something else. Now this was an idea. I was just shooting around, and of course this is not finalized or anything like that. Okay. So this machine gun assembly is from the Cobra Deviant weapon systems, and what I'm doing with this, I just wanted to see how adding additional weapons to the actual primary weapon, see how it might look, in terms of aesthetics. And it does have some possibilities. So what I'm thinking of doing is making an attachment port. It could be a hole, two holes like this, in which I would cover up with something else for if it doesn't have any additional weapons attached to it, or you can remove the cover and add some weapon to it. So I was thinking either these machine guns might look good, or I can replace these machine guns with some sort of laser, some sort of high-tech weapon, and mount it to that. I was thinking also of putting some attachment ports here, maybe more like the oval type stuff, and then you'll put some sort of sensor or something top and bottom to cover it up if it's not used. So I was thinking like that, and was kind of wanted to show that to everyone and kind of gather everyone's thoughts of, especially if this is like a weapon that's on Mars, a weapon system on a different planet. I will shy away from using machine guns unless there is an astronaut on hand that has a supply of ammo. So when the ammo is used, you'll have someone who can come around and replenish the machine. If not, it looks kind of weird, to have something with finite ammunition on a remote planet that's, it's just going to get used a few times, maybe even once. Even if it's not destroyed, it's just going to sit there useless. But so I was thinking some sort of energy weapon, or some other weapon like a particle projection beam, where the ammo is effectively unlimited, super small, atomic size, that kind of thing. The other thing that I need to do is make this weapon part a little bit different. I need to add a cover, because if it's a laser, it should be okay. You want to keep the lenses as clean as possible. A cover would be nice. If it has a barrel, then obviously a cover, would be very nice to have in case there's anything like a sandstorm or something like that. You don't want to clog up your weapon. And so I am thinking about putting some sort of small hinge system or something like that, something that I could attach maybe, even if it's a separate piece, like some sort of front cover that attaches to the front of this. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'll work it out. And let's see. So those are my thoughts there. I am going to take a look at the satellite itself, the weapons platform. Let me do it from this. Okay, this is version 1. Yeah, rebuild. There's a feature I'm not very familiar about with SolidWorks that it's called, I call it collections, but that's not the right term. It's called configuration. And a configuration, well, this is version 2. I thought I was loading version 1. So a configuration should allow me to lock in an entire assembly, such as this, and associate it to this document, this file. And then I'll be able to have a different configuration of a different assembly, different weapons, for example, different sensors, different things. And I should be able to toggle back and forth between the two without having to have like a whole bunch of different files, made. So I could just have this one file here with multiple configurations for the weapons. So if you don't mind, I would like to kind of try that. I don't want to do it on this one. I want to do it on the other one, the other version. Okay, here it comes. This is the original version. Rebuild. Okay, so this is the original version. I'm kind of liking the second version a little bit more, to tell you the truth. I would like to try that with what you call it. I'm just trying to block it in. Okay, I got everything. With the configurations. I never tried this before. I think this is where I go. Configuration Manager. Default assembly. Can I just simply... Can I add another? Well, let me... I don't know. Let's see. How does this work? Maybe I need to recreate all of this. No, I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, this is learning right here. So second mouse button, add configuration. Save, comment, tree, display. It's my first time on this. Configuration name. Weapon type 1? What's a good name for this? I guess I could always rename it or something like that. Weapon 1. Let's try that. Description, I don't know. Bill of materials options, part number displayed when used. Bill of materials, chart components, show how, whatever. Advanced options, what's this? Suppress new features and mates, hide new I don't know. I'm just gonna leave everything as default and just say okay. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay, now how how do I make a new configuration? Do I need to destroy this one? Let me just save everything then. Save. See, I don't know. Do I go back in and I guess can I can I suppress this? Uh, if I don't want to see this, I don't know. I think if I want to, if I gotta go here, add configuration, tree display. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing really. Tree order, tree name. How do I say okay? I want to hide this configuration and do something else. What's this? Advanced select? I don't know. New exploded view. Add derived configuration. Anyway, I think I'm going to just play around with that later. But at least it shows. What did it do here? Okay. At least it shows that, even on a program like this, it gets very complicated. Not in terms of using on a, obviously, but it has a lot of other features. It's a very powerful program. And a lot of it I don't know how to use at all. I just know how to do some of the basic stuff. Maybe more advanced than other people just starting, but I am nowhere near like a master at it or anything like that. There are other people who are, and I'm not one of them. So, but at least you get to see, whether I succeed or fail on a particular thing. At least you get to see that experience. Um, it's got its own challenges. So anyway, yeah, I was thinking about the should I try it? Well, let's see how it looks. Let me replace this. Let me switch over to this actually. Make sure I saved this assembly. Yeah, save it. Switch over. And let me just see. Select this. I say this entire piece. I say replace components. I choose weapon A with machine gun right here. I go like that. I don't think I'm going to save this. I just want to see how it looks. Looks kind of top heavy, huh? Yeah, so I think this weapon, the machine gun stuff, has some uses, but I think I need to change the styling a little bit. What's interesting is, what if there's a manned version of this assault weapons platform? Essentially, extend the where it attaches to the turret. Extend it out, raise this neck up some, put some sort of manual controls in the back, and have a human, mount, just get on the back of it and use it like some sort of big manual system. I suppose that's possible, not necessarily in this configuration of how it looks now, but what if it was like towards, like at the beginning, the original design of having these these big weapons here mounted towards the front. Remember, we were saying, or we looked at it and we were thinking, it looks like it's reaching too much. It's too much in the front. But if it has something in the back for a person to stand or sit, maybe that would balance it. Yeah, maybe that would balance it. So I'm thinking, if I do if I do these configurations, I guess I would have to block in the entire piece here, because this is in. Now that I'm thinking about it, this neck part might change also. This part here, and might make it taller. Oh, now I'm doing some thinking. Oh yeah. What if? So imagine these weapons further to the front. This dome gone. Maybe more like some sort of simple chair for an astronaut to sit down. Have some control mechanism there, something high tech, but not too delicate. Some manual controls for like the trigger. On a turret, so it balances. You have the figure sitting in the back. You got the weapons in the front. So maybe the weapons would be about up to here, somewhere around here. That might be one option. I got a feeling I would have to change the bottom, but that's one option. Another option is I could take that particular style, and instead of applying it to a platform, I could put it on some sort of vehicle. That vehicle could be a wheeled vehicle or some sort of legged vehicle. So basically a mech. Let me see something. Now, what's nice about what Hasbro did for the Cobra Deviant is the limbs are on a ball and socket. Unfortunately, I think that might be too tight for what I want to do. So I think I'll have to go more traditional in terms of the articulated points. So definitely, instead of ball and socket, maybe do the points of articulation in different, how would I say, for example, do it where the top part, obviously pivots, then right below have a swivel point. And yeah, that might actually work. There's no... So, okay, so there's no upper or lower, it's all one piece. Okay, but I like the idea of a mech like that, because I've seen some stuff in... Is it 1/35 scale? It looks like, it's kit bash stuff, so it looks like someone took a Jeep, World War II Jeep, the weapon part of a half track, one of those that has like 4 50 caliber machine guns for anti-aircraft, and some sort of motorcycle seating type thing. Maybe it has the handlebars for it. I'm not quite sure. And it had a person basically standing, kind of hunched over, holding, I guess, these motorcycle handlebars. You had these 50 caliber clusters too, 2 on each side. You had the shield for the half track part for that cluster. The bottom part looks like it had some parts from a Jeep, and then he had 2 long, very slim legs. And I was thinking, that's kind of like trying to make a fast-moving 2-legged mech, and the person doesn't actually sit. The person just stands, and that might actually be better, because it's like if you're on a bicycle. I remember back in New Orleans, going through some back areas behind the house that was still undeveloped, and so they had trails. Sometimes people will take a dirt bike and they'll go through these trails, and I just had a regular bicycle, and I remember, as the trails, they're uneven. Sometimes they got bricks embedded into the mud, into the ground, rocks, and tree roots. So it becomes uneven and very bumpy. And the easiest way to travel on a bicycle, especially going fast, was to stand on the pedals, knees bent, so your knees can take the shocks. And you could actually, if you could pedal like that, you could actually maintain your speed and not have a very jarring effect, it's bouncing around. So I guess if you have a 2-legged mech, stepping on each side, you got to imagine the legs moving. It's going to be kind of a rough ride for the rider. So maybe if the figure were to stand, that makes better sense. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Star Wars, Clone Wars. They'll have these small 2-legged all-terrain vehicles, but small ones, like personal size ones, where a clone trooper can just I suppose, sit down and pilot the thing. But yeah, that might be something with this, laser or machine gun. But yeah, let me put this back. Well, one of the spittoons has just finished, so I'm going to switch. I'm going to take a look to see if there's any comments. No comments? Okay, if you got comments, just let me know. Okay. The other print finished also. So another one of these. Another spittoon. Spittoon came out pretty good. Okay. Gonna wait for the printer to cool down a bit before starting another. Okay. I really need to find out about these configurations. Maybe there's a YouTube video I can take a quick look real fast, get an idea. YouTube. Okay. And let's see. Search. SolidWorks 2020. 2020. Configure. It helps if I spell things right. How to work configurations, number 1. SolidWorks tutorials, configurations. Which one has better? This is 4 minutes here. 14 minutes there. Well, looks like there's two. Looks like there's this one. Let me go to this one by a channel called Go Engineer. They've been useful in the past. Okay. Skipping.
This is just a super quick video about using the modified dimensions option for quickly creating multiple configurations without needing to use design tables. So right now I have this fully defined part that is an extreme rectangle.
Well, all I need to know is like, can I just?
And the first thing we want to do in order to make this configuration,
well, how come it's
press extrude one. And then if we click the other view one over here, this will be the D1 for the sketch. Also, we can add features too. So if I select this right here and double click.
Well, they're demonstrating other features that don't interest me.
Config tool. Once that happens, hit enter, and we'll have an identical set of values. However, we can change these values to whatever we would like, which is done this way, from 150 to 125. Lastly, we want to suppress the code.
Okay. So I'll have an idea. Now I have an idea. So let me switch back. Okay, first of all, let me undo because I don't want to save that. Don't save. Okay, now I want to open recent. Yeah, this is version 2. I don't want to do version 2. I want version 1. Oh, okay, so my naming convention's confusing me. Rebuild. So what? Can I go to properties? No, not properties. What is this configuration publisher? Oh, I don't want that. No, don't put that. You know, the thing is that I saw something that they had on that video, and it's like, well, where is it now? Advanced select. It had something like this, but they were able to select like the different configurations, and then they had a list. Wow. Once again, I get stuck. I don't know what any of these things. So, okay, it was kind of something like this. No. Anyway. So, okay, I'll just go to ignore that. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with it. So, anyways, okay. Enough wasting time. So, yeah, what I'm thinking about now then is some sort of attachment. So let me see about doing that. Just kind of work the ideas out. Thing is that this is. I'm going to have to work a different attachment. So, okay. Don't save. So back to this. Well, that kind of. I think maybe I should probably end the video because now I'm kind of feel like this is kind of I would say, out of the scope. Yeah. So okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this video now, and kind of like a little bit of a progress report, letting everyone know what's going on, how it's coming along. Okay. So I'll catch y'all later. I'm going to end this video now and work some more on this particular part for this weapon, adding some more attachment locations. And I'm going to take some time to take a look at some other videos on SolidWorks configurations and see how I can apply that to what I need to do. Well, thank you for joining, and I'll catch y'all next time. All right, thanks. And let's see.